Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video, another workout. What is that? Oh, that's part of the magnet. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, welcome back to another workout. Today is currently Saturday, December, I'm doing it again. Saturday, January, if I can get my watch to work, 13th. And it is a pull day. So with this pull workout, we will be focusing first on hip thrusts. And then I will probably do some other type of hamstring biased movement just to get a little bit more volume in for them. Last time I think I just did like one high volume set of dumbbell stiff leg deadlifts. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do this time. We'll see. Then move into some back focused exercises. Yeah, hey Fluffy. Don't mind me just eating some sour strips. If you want to sponsor me. No, just having a sour strip as my pre-workout carbs, I guess you could say. And yeah, we're just gonna hit this workout and kind of go into it and just try and get it as hard as possible. It is still freezing. I've had the garage heater running for about two and a half hours, and it is still like 60 degrees in here because it's still below zero outside. So yeah, just trying to stay as warm as I can. But no, like I said, starting off with hip thrusts, then we're gonna move into some type of hamstring biased movement. Don't know exactly what it's gonna be yet. Then with back, we'll start off with, I'm not sure. I have to look at what I did last week. I'm kind of thinking like a close grip lat pull down. Maybe use the Darko Longy bar with regular handles so I can kind of rotate through the movement. But thinking a close grip lat pull down into possibly the lever arms for a chest supported row, and then maybe finish it off with, I don't know, dumbbell rows or some other type of rowing movement, and then a pullover of some kind. And then, as per usual, I'll finish off the back workout or the pull workout with some face pulls, superset with dumbbell shrugs or barbell shrugs or maybe even lever arm shrugs. We'll see what I have set up at that time. So yeah, that's kind of the basic gist of what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, I'm not going to really talk too much right now because, like I said, it's pretty cold out here, and it's already 5 o'clock in the afternoon, actually. So I got to get this workout done before it gets too much later. I still have to run over to my mom's house and check on her place because she is out of town for a couple of days, and apparently her complex lost heat. So I need to go make sure that her pipes haven't frozen and burst. God, I love it. But no, that's pretty much on my agenda for today. I did notice while I was uploading videos this morning that I had forgotten to publish a video yesterday. So there was like an extra day in between videos when there shouldn't have been. But whatever, I'm not too fussed about it. Maybe one of these days I'll end up just posting 2 videos at the same time. We'll see, something like that. But for right now, it just gives me a little bit more of a buffer, an extra day of buffer for getting videos edited and uploaded. So yeah, still a work in progress on figuring out this whole series thing and how I'm doing it all. Especially when it comes to like my rest days and doing this kind of like reviews and things like that. 'Cause I don't know, just usually it takes like 2 or 3 days when I go through and actually like spend time on a video, like a review video, because I like to spend time on them, make sure I've got all the shots, spend a lot more time editing as opposed to these are literally just cut paste, watch it through real quick, run and gun basically. So yeah, we'll have to see how I'm thinking I want to do like review videos and things. And yeah, we'll see. Like I said, this is still just kind of a work in progress. I mean, it's only been like half a month so far. So we're still just gonna keep rolling and keep going. I'm not stopping anytime soon. But no, like I said, I'm gonna get started with my warm up here and then check back in with you guys when we hit the first working set on hip thrusts. Bone apple teeth. Strawberry. One of my favorite sour strip flavors. All right. Okay, getting into the first working set here. This is, what is this, 315 plus 70, 385. So, yeah, heaviest I've done on these, honestly, I think ever. Hit 365 last time for like 8 or 10 reps. Feeling pretty good so far on the warm-up, so we'll just see if we can knock out at least 8 on this, and then drop it down for a back-off set. Ugh. But no, feeling pretty good, so let's see if we can throw this weight around. Get feet back a little more. There we go. Okay, let's see. Oh, whew. Did a lot better than I expected, actually. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, I'll drop the 35s off each side and do a back off set. All right, let's set. Oh, come on. Come up straight. Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's it. Okay. On to something else. Okay, figured out what I'm doing next, and that is going to be, hopefully you guys can see me, I don't know what the camera's looking like, but next up is going to be a belt squat good morning. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just going to really overload the glutes and hamstrings as much as I can, and I'll probably do like 2 sets here and then move on to some back. Okay. Come on, there we go. Oh man, that, whew. That's a movement I haven't done in a while. Oh man. Oh, come on. Oops, now pause music. Yeah, that's a movement I have not done in a while. Used to do that a lot, fairly light, as like a warm-up prior to deadlifting. And that in combination with like belt squat marches is a great warm-up for opening up the hip flexors, warming up the glutes, hamstrings, posterior chain, lower back, all that stuff, and priming it for deadlifts. But it's been a long time since I've done that with any kind of weight. And even that was relatively light. But no, that felt really good. Just takes a lot of the load off of the back and puts it on primarily the hamstrings and glutes, more so the glutes than even the hamstrings. But no, I felt pretty good. I'm actually gonna bump the weight up a little bit more, and then we'll do one more set, aim for a little bit lower reps, and then move into back. So let's go. Take a small step back. Oh, jeez. Whew. Yeah, that felt pretty damn good. So now to get set up for back. Neutral grip lat pull down using the longy bar and cable handles. Let's go. Oh, okay. Oh, god damn it. All right, so that felt pretty damn good. One thing you notice is pause, focusing on like a 1 to 2 count pause at the bottom, just squeezing the lats as hard as possible. Just a different type of intensity technique. I really like it for like any type of lat pull down. But no, that felt really good. I'm gonna drop the weight a little bit. Same thing again, and then probably do one more set. And then we'll move on to, I'm thinking chest supported rows. So that's gonna be the next exercise. Aiming for like 10 to 12 and then just as many assisted as I can get.
I don't know how far that's going. Jump!
Okay.
It's like 4 foot jumping.
Back up just a tiny bit.
Come on.
partials right here. Alright, that's good.
Pull over so I didn't know what you doing your day.
Huh?
Pull over so I didn't know what you were doing.
Doing some tricep extensions. Ouch. Thank you. Okay. Alright. One more set. Okay, so as you guys just saw, called in the big guns to help me with that last set. Just spot me for a few extra reps just so I could push past that sticking point and then do a few extra partials there at the end. Yeah, I love having somebody to do that kind of stuff with. It's just, I almost never do. Again, one of the downsides of a home gym. It's kind of one of the only real like big negatives of a home gym is just not having somebody there to like push you unless you have a regular workout partner, which I mean, usually depends. Sometimes, a lot of times she works out in the mornings and she's gone at work like from 7 in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. Or if she's doing night shifts, she'll be gone from like 7 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's kind of one of those things where I almost never have our workouts cross, especially right now, unless on like rest days. Maybe they do, or not rest days, but off days. But no, overall, that's one of the downsides to a home gym that I wish there was a workaround for, I guess you could say, is just being able to have somebody spot you and assist with like those negatives or forced reps, I guess you could call them. Yeah, that's something I wish I had like a regular training partner for, but I'm a shut-in. I'm a bit of a hermit. So it is what it is. Anytime I try to get somebody to come in here and work out with me, they're always like, no, it doesn't work out, and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't mind too much, but it would just be nice. Anyway, last set, best set. Let's go. Oop, don't fall. Still focusing on a little bit of a pause at the bottom. All right, that's it. For that, onto chest supported lever arm rows. Okay, this is probably one of my favorite lever arm variations, honestly. And a big part of it is the dynamic loading aspect. So I think I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but basically with how I have these plates loaded, or this plate in particular, the weight is easier at the top. Basically where the muscle is weakest, the weight gets lighter. So it's similar in principle to Prime Fitness plate loaded machines. Oh, excuse me. So I really like that aspect of it. It just allows me to train the muscle a little bit further beyond what a traditional like chest supported row would. So yeah, we're gonna hit this, see how this set feels, if it's gonna be my working set or my warm up. Pretty lightweight, but aiming for like 12 to 15 reps, a little higher volume. Okay. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that starts out really easy, but because it's training the muscle. Come on, pause music. But because it's training the muscle in its natural strength curve, once you start to fatigue, it just gets pretty hard. So it's not like a lot of other movements where maybe it'll be hard to start, and then as you fatigue, only one part of the movement is really hard, and you can't even get into the second part. Once you start to fatigue on this, at least for me, then the entire thing gets hard. So yeah, like I said at the start, it's pretty hard, or you feel the most weight at the bottom. As you get up about halfway through, the weight starts to deload, and it starts getting easier. But as you start to fatigue, that whole movement is going to be pretty similar in difficulty. At least that's the way I feel it. So yeah, that felt really good. I'm actually going to just add like 10 pounds to either side and do one more set. Whew. Okay. Oh, that's it. Oh shit. Okay. On to the next movement. Another lever arm variation, this time a low row. So I just moved the arms around, and this time I'm going to be grabbing a handle that I just got looped around the actual handles. And then we're just going to lock in and pull low and close. Oh my. So from right here. Okay. I like this movement because it just changes the angle. It's kind of like a low machine row. But one thing I don't necessarily like about it is the resistance curve. The resistance curve on this one is almost the exact opposite of the last movement. Starts out pretty light, but as I get towards the lockout, it gets to be its heaviest. And that's just based on the angle of the leverages. So unfortunately, not a lot I can do about that with this setup. I could modify it to where it's ideal, I guess you could say, but that would take a heck of a lot more setup time, and it would just be not worth it in my book. And again, I've talked about this before with lever arms. The biggest thing with them is finding setups that not only feel good and work with your training style, but that you're actually going to use. Because it's like, I've got a whole list of exercises using my lever arms that are like absolutely fantastic. They feel amazing. The resistance curve on them is great, but the setup times just aren't realistic in the middle of a workout. Now, if I were to utilize them like as the very first movement, sure, I'll just go through while I'm doing my warm-ups, I'll set them up and get it ready to go. That's usually when I like to utilize those types of movements. But in the middle of a workout, even though I could go through and adjust them like in between sets of a prior exercise, a lot of times I'm doing stuff that's like in the rack or that would be in the way of where I'm setting things up, or even necessarily using parts of the lever arms or of the accessories that I would be attaching to the lever arms in order to make the movement useful. So it's just kind of one of those things where you really have to play around with it, figure out what works for you with your training style and what is a feasible setup time. So this movement, the last movement, the chest press variation that I do all the time, those are great movements and they're very easy to set up. So that's why I like to do them. A lot of like leg movements in particular, leg presses, things like that, they can be really solid movements, but the setup times on them are just horrible. They take so long to set up. They require a lot of different accessories, different attachments, things like that, that just, in my opinion, make them not worth it. And that's not to say lever arms in general aren't worth it. As you've seen, as I've shown you, they work fantastic for a lot of different movements, but in my opinion, they require a lot of different accessories in order to make them actually useful. So yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on them. But anyway, gonna throw on a little bit more weight because that was a little bit light, and then we'll hit, let's do at least one more set and then move into, I think, pullovers to finish it off, and then face pulls, superset with shrugs. Okay. Okay, whew. I like that. That's not bad. Rest a little bit, and then on to the next side. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. So, finished up that. As you saw, changed it up a little bit for the last set. Did just individual sides. I just like that. Honestly, I like isolateral or individual arm work a lot more for back in general. It just takes a lot more time because, oh fuck, excuse me. It just takes a lot of time usually because I'm resting not only between sets but also between arms, so it just adds on a lot of extra time to my workouts, which is kind of the only downside. But I really enjoy doing isolateral or individual arm work on back especially, or particularly when I'm able to. Anyway, we're going to move on to the last exercise here, which is going to be superset between face pulls and dumbbell shrugs. So I'm going to hit like 15 reps on each, 4 supersets. I'll probably just record the first set and then check back with you guys with the posing. Okay. And let me come over here so I'm staying camera. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. Okay. Okay. Quick rest, and then 3 more of those. Bring that down somewhere like there. Okay. So overall, pretty damn good workout. Yeah, let's just get straight into the pump before it starts going, because I have got to get out of here and go check on my mom's place, because like I said at the start of the workout, her complex apparently lost power or lost heating, so I just need to go make sure that everything's good over there. Maybe turn on the faucets to drip, since it's supposed to be below 0 for the next couple days, and she won't be back in town for a couple days. So yeah. Oh man, damn, let's bring that down just a touch more. Oh yeah. God. Move this over just a teeny bit, and right about there. Yeah. Okay, front relaxed. God damn, I am feeling pumped as hell. How's that looking? Whew, forearm cramp. Ouch. Oh, damn. Look at that right there. Just a rear delt popping like crazy. Jeez. When I've got a rear delt pump, I almost feel like I need to lay off on the rear delts a little bit. But, honestly, I don't think you can have too big of a rear delt. At least I don't think I could have too big of a rear delt at this point in time. Jeez, look at those boulder shoulders right there. That is a look. Okay. Whew. God damn. Alright, let's get this off first. Okay. My favorite pose right here. And then, what's the physique pose? The men's classic physique. From here into something like this Arnold pose. I don't know, that's still one of my favorites right there. But anyway, let's get into this real quick. Okay. Pull my pants. These pants are falling down. All right. Oh man, how is that looking? Just a standard rear relaxed. Oh god damn. Oh man, out of breath. But no, that was a damn good workout. Overall, very happy with it. Feeling really good. My back, as always, is still my favorite muscle group. Not only just to train, just in general, I think my back is probably my favorite muscle group. What else? I guess I can talk about this. I mentioned in one of the first videos how I have started TRT, and I've been working with my doctor over the past month or so. Been a little hard with the holidays and Christmas and everything, but been working with my doctor to get the dosage a little bit more fine-tuned, because I have been sitting still pretty low with my current dose, which has been 100 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week. And yeah, got blood work done back at the beginning of December, and it was still looking a little bit low from where we want me to be sitting. So she has upped me to 125 milligrams per week of the same testosterone cypionate. And mainly the biggest thing is just to kind of combat the valleys. So the way with TRT works, and well, I guess any testosterone really, any injectable performance enhancing drug, is they have a half-life. And I'm not going to get too far into this. If you want, you can do your own research, but this is real high-level overview. So it has a half-life. From the day you inject it, whatever the half-life is based on the ester, it is how much is left after a certain period of time. And basically, within a day or two of injecting, your levels are going to peak. And then from that point on, they're just going to start decreasing down again until you inject. So that's where you get these peaks and these valleys. And the biggest thing is when I'm hitting that last day or two before I inject again, it's just I can notice a pretty big dip in my energy, my mood, pretty much everything that has to do with the benefits of TRT. So a couple ways that we can combat that are, one, increasing the dosage, which we don't want to push it too far, because again, the whole point of this is just TRT. It's not supposed to be like blasting and cruising. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want to be at a healthy, regulated dose, basically. So that's one way, is to just increase the dose so that increases the overall peak and then decreases or increases, I guess, the height of that valley, basically the minimum value before you inject again, if that makes sense. Pretty simple stuff if you really look into it. But the other way would be to split the dosing up, especially with the ester that I have currently. Basically, instead of injecting once a week, I'd inject twice. So basically like every 3 days or every 4 days, so that instead of having these really high peaks and these really low valleys, I'd have a little bit lower of a peak, but a little bit lower of a valley, and thereby, in theory, it would stabilize my levels more, so I don't have those big peaks and valleys, those big swings, essentially. So we're going to first start off with just increasing the dose straight up, see how that affects me. If I'm still feeling the negatives of like the day before I inject, where I'm just losing a lot of energy, I'm not feeling very well, then we'll look at switching over to a twice a week injection. The biggest thing with that is levels aren't going to get as high, but they're going to be stable a little bit more throughout the week, if that makes sense. Again, I don't want to get too far into all this. I don't want to go into too much detail with it just because I'm not trying to advocate for this. I don't want you guys to go out and think you can do whatever you want with this. Do your own research. I am doing this all under the guidance of a doctor. This is all medically prescribed. And yeah, this is all on me. As I've talked about before, I've had my blood work done over the past couple years, and my testosterone levels, my natural levels, have been steadily decreasing, which is expected. As you get older, your natural levels are going to decrease, unless you're just some genetic freak, which is very, very few and far between people. We can't all be genetic freaks, unfortunately. So yeah, after having my levels tested, I've naturally been decreasing to the point where TRT has basically become a viable option. And talking to a doctor, going to a clinic, getting it actually prescribed, and I am now, like I said, under the guidance of a physician. So that's the big thing I want to keep stressing, is this is not just me going out and doing this on my own. I'm not going to Joe Schmo at the Dollar General, Planet Fitness locker room and getting this bottle of unknown whatever. This is all pharmacy grade, it's all prescription based, and it's all medically supervised. So yeah, that's just kind of my spiel on that. Again, I don't care who knows. YouTube probably doesn't like that I talk about this, but whatever. It doesn't matter to me, because I'm just trying to be open and transparent. I have now been on it for, I want to say this is my 12th week. Starting today is going to be my 12th week. So I've been on it for 11 weeks. So I've definitely noticed a very significant increase in just my general daily energy levels with it. I've noticed an increase in my performance and recovery in the gym, especially now that I am in a surplus as opposed to being in a deficit, which I was for like the first 8-9 weeks of this entire process. I was in a fairly strict deficit. And now that I'm in a surplus, I am definitely noticing a higher performance capability, I guess you could say, or a higher recovery capability, or well, both realistically. But yeah, that's just kind of where things are at currently and just what's been going on. So just, again, trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible. I have not experienced any other side effects really besides just on the low days, kind of all the benefits dropping off. I haven't experienced any negative side effects. I've been very closely monitoring my blood pressure, all the other various aspects that go along with TRT. I've been monitoring them, making sure that all of my levels and all of my blood work looks good and is in line with where it should be, so that I am staying as healthy as possible. Because again, the goal with this is just to be healthy. It's not to blast. It's not to go on just overload with whatever. It's not to do that kind of stuff. I am not wanting to become some crazy professional bodybuilder. I'm not wanting to get just absolutely massive. I don't need to. I'm going to be 31 in 5 days. I'm getting older. I just do this because, one, I enjoy it. This is a big part of my life, obviously, with the home gym. So it's just something that I really enjoy, and being able to keep that level of intensity up as I get older and just stay as healthy as possible is a big aspect of my life, if that makes sense. So yeah. Anyway, I gotta get going. I've been rambling and talking for far too long now, so I will see you guys all tomorrow. It's gonna be arm day. It's gonna be a good day. And yeah, hopefully the weather starts to warm up soon, because it has been cold in the garage the past couple days. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Boom. I don't know. Whatever. I like this orange shirt. This orange looks good on me.